Okay, so welcome back to the T-33 conversion to P-80 slash F-80 Shooting Star. Pretty much ready to fly this thing tomorrow. Just got a few little things left to do. I was gonna baseline fly the airplane with a cheater hole in it still, and then cover it up later. I just wanted to see how the airplane flew compared to the T-33 with a direct comparison, but since I was already here and making ducting improvements as it was, things started looking pretty good, and so I decided just to go for the gold and fill in the cheater hole right now. So what I ended up doing was using a little bit of Depron, and I filled in this section here, made a bulkhead in the back to help support it, and then a formed Depron sheet over the hole. So that's all good. And then over here, kind of the same thing. Use the piece of Depron, glued it in there. That's the original ramp right here. So had to get rid of that. That was it for the cheater hole. Let me describe some of the other changes that I've made to the ducting that I think will make some improvement. So if you've seen the inside of a T-33, you know that there's a wood plate in there that the ESC is bolted to with a wood strap and some screws, and they all kind of stick out and they're kind of in the airflow towards the fan. So I took those out so I could bring the ESC more flush, and I just hot glued it in. I've used that technique a number of times and it's always worked well. I opened up the auxiliary opening in here just a little bit more to help with a little bit of extra air. On the wing, a couple things I did was this has a sharper transition from the factory, so I kind of laid that angle back, and this area in here seemed kind of like a pinch zone in the ducting. So by pinch I mean the area kind of gets smaller in there, so I kind of ground out these areas through here and try and get that air to be more consistent, and then everything's got filler in to smooth it out. I open up these, which are the insides of the wheel wells, for a little bit of auxiliary air while the gear are down, help with takeoffs and climb out and stuff, because I think at speed it's going to work pretty well. And then if you don't know, this has a smaller tailpipe than original. I cut the fuselage down and squeezed it together. It's about 60 millimeter diameter. Stock is about 65 or so. So up front, they're pretty well cleaned up now, because when I sectioned the fuselage and shortened it, I had some interesting things going on in the walls here. So I ended up shaving them all down, kind of reshaping this wall. What that ended up doing was kind of opening up the area inside of here. And some of the foam, I ground out a lot of the foam in here against the lips. So that also increased the area by a pretty good amount, times two, between both sides. So it's really nice and smooth in here now, whereas stock there's kind of some crappy foam transitions and stuff. So anyways, I'm really thinking that the units are going to work pretty good now. Get a good idea of how it looks in there. Not too bad. So I'm just getting ready to use some polyacrylic clear coat to seal all this filler in and make it nice and smooth. The plan is to fly it tomorrow, so I am missing a nose gear door. I busted that off the last time I had the airplane out. Let's see, I already told you guys about the larger hatch. That worked out pretty well. Let me grab that real quick. It's not finalized on the fit yet, but it's pretty good. You can barely see it on camera. I did make my canopy, a vacuum formed clear canopy for it. So there she is. It's gonna look something like that. Just about right. It's hard to get some of these bubble canopy profiles because it's not a one size fits all kind of thing. They're all a little bit different. So might be a little big still. I might need to cut it down a little bit more. I'll know more once I put the airplane together and kind of look at it some more. But for now, I'm just going to fly it just taped on. Get some flights on the airplane, then like I said, I'll go ahead with the full refinish. I might do a little more trimming on the canopy. I think the back might be a little long still, so I might trim some off the back, make it a little bit shorter. This is the plug that I made. Just high density white foam. I sealed it with some epoxy and then used some Bondo and feather fill to seal it. It worked pretty well. As you can see in the canopy, it's dusty right now, but you know, it's pretty good, pretty clear, pretty smooth, so worked pretty well. So the wingtips are all carved and filled in and look pretty good. So anyways, I'm getting ready to throw some sealer on this spackle, and we're gonna fly tomorrow, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. We'll see you next time.